let's talk about his Amazon purchases. K-Bar knife. The searches were from quite a few months. I think 6 or 8 months. 3/20/22 to 3/30/22, and he not only looked at and purchased the K-Bar knife, but he also purchased a sharpener. Ed.
Yeah, a sharpening stone, yes. And they have a witness that can validate the purchase. Okay, so apparently there's a witness that's going to come testify as well.
Yeah.
So it's, it looks very damning.
Yeah.
Okay, and the defense tried to change their strategy, and defense now saying that the sheath was planted at the crime scene. So that would have meant that somebody went and got the sheath from Bryan Kohberger's apartment on his campus, okay, and then knew that he had left DNA, or somehow he got his DNA on the snap and then brought it to the crime scene and left it there on purpose after he killed 4 people.
That's a far stretch, Ed. But do you feel that this selfie, his online purchase history on Amazon with the knife and the knife sheath, the K-Bar knife, do you feel that that is the ship is sunk, that his defense is toast? This is damning evidence against Bryan Kohberger. Ed, what is this guy doing over here? This is a short time after this murder occurred, these quadruple murders. There was snow on the ground. A guy set up here. Is this a photographer or is this somebody from a crime scene? Just curious, Ed.
I can't make out what that is. It looks more like a camera as opposed to like a Faro scanner.
Yeah. And he's outside of the tape. He's outside of the tape. You could see the blue.
I remember there was a photographer that was going around the outside of the perimeter back there taking photos.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was a law enforcement photographer. I think it was the press.
Listen, we respect all sides on this, but as more and more information comes out from the defense and from the prosecutor, and we see the defense, again, Ed, I'll put us back on, we see Ann Taylor, as you said, throwing as much shit against the wall as she can and hoping that something sticks. But it doesn't seem like a lot of the motions she's presenting are being ruled in her favor.
Yeah, so it came out in court documents that his Amazon search after the quadruple homicide shows that he, in fact, searched for another K-Bar. So, again, this is purely speculation on my part, but, he ditched that particular K-Bar that if, used in this quadruple homicide, he likes that knife. I don't think he was done killing yet, and he wanted to get another one.
Yeah. I happen to agree with you, brother, on that. I'd like to know what everyone's thoughts are in the chat, and if you're watching on the replay, let us know what your thoughts are as it pertains to the second K-Bar knife inquiry.
But everything that the prosecutor is planning to throw at them, if it gets in, and the judge still has to do some ruling on several of these items of evidence, and that will be April 6th. I believe some of it will be discussed, and then we'll have finalization of what's coming in there. If this all comes in, how do you explain this? How does the defense team explain this?
The fact finders, which are the jurors, are going to get this evidence presented to them. They're going to get this timeline presented to them. They're going to get the totality of all this evidence presented to them. And they are going to make the decision. It's not going to be our decision. It's not going to be anybody else's, but the jurors. So that's it. I mean, I'm just like saying, buckle up and let's get ready, because this is going to be interesting.
The selfie, part of a trove of new documents revealing how lawyers on both sides may be planning to argue their cases at his murder trial in August. Among them, this filing detailing Kohberger's Amazon purchases, which his attorneys have been fighting to get thrown out as evidence. According to prosecutors, Kohberger bought a K-Bar knife and sheath just months before they say he killed Maddie Mogen, Ethan Chapin, Xana Kernodle, and Kaylee Goncalves in their off-campus home. According to police, a K-Bar knife sheath was found next to one of the victims. With DNA, they say it was a statistical match with Kohberger.
What does a knife sheath at a scene mean? That's going to be the ultimate question.
The filings show Kohberger's attorneys are prepared to point to other possible suspects, writing, "This case is full of alternative perpetrators. The state has chosen to focus on Mr. Kohberger at its own peril." After the murders, police say one of the surviving roommates told them she saw a masked man with bushy eyebrows in the home. Prosecutors now revealing that after Kohberger's arrest, she told police, "I have no clue whether Kohberger was the same man she had seen." The defense has said Mr. Kohberger does not have bushy eyebrows, but prosecutors now including this new photograph in their latest filings, writing, "Whether or not Bryan Kohberger can be described as having bushy eyebrows is a factual determination to be decided by the jury."
So you want me to get into the touch DNA? There are several types of DNA, but touch DNA sometimes is also referred to as LCN, low copy number. And in this case, it was on the snap, the buckle. And they swabbed it, they got it, they amplified it, they got an STR profile. Then they used that to do genetic genealogy searches. And now, once they arrested him in Pennsylvania, they had gotten a warrant and took a buccal swab, or some people like to call it a buccal swab. But
And what is a buccal swab, Ed?
They take a swab and they stick it in your mouth and swab your cheek, on the inside of your cheek, in your mouth, and then they package it up and send it to the lab. They did STR, short tandem repeat DNA analysis on that swab from him and definitively matched it to him, not his father, not his relatives that were in the genetic database, to him from the touch DNA off the buckle.
Listen, we all know innocent until proven guilty, but the evidence is just, it's just mounting up. It's not looking good for Mr. Kohberger and for Ann Taylor as it stands right now. And we haven't even seen it all. Once this trial kicks off, Ed, there's going to be a lot of oohs and ah moments. You and I talked about we're saving all of the pro-burgers comments, and we got a whole stack of humble pie ready to be either heated up or served cold at room temperature. And I'll be the first to eat humble pie if I'm wrong, but I don't think we're going to be wrong. How about you, Ed? What do you think?
It's not looking good for Bryan.
It's not at all. It is not at all.
I'm wondering, in jail, can he get his eyebrows done? Or is there, what do they call that?
Threading?
Stringing?
Yeah,
Or,
they do the threading or whatever.
the threading, yes, the threading, yeah.